Hey, what's up, Nerd Squad? We're back with another NFL video. Before I get started, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, uh, leave your predictions for the Los Angeles Chargers record in 2020, and let's jump right into it. Week 1, we have the Chargers at the Bengals. I mentioned in previous prediction videos that I think it's going to be a little bit of a rebuilding year for the Chargers offense. Their defense is still in a really good spot, still probably a top 10, arguably, in my opinion at least, top 5 defense. Bengals still have a long way to go on their rebuild. I think the Chargers take this one. I don't think Joe Burrow's gonna immediately come in and shock the NFL. So I think the Chargers take this one. Now, week 2, the Chiefs, I feel like, are obviously the better team. Their offense is much better. Their defense is more complete than, it has been in previous years. But it seems like there's always one game against the Chargers that the Chiefs struggle with, even since having Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going to give this one to the Chargers, but, that one I could see going either way. Week 3, it's Panthers at the Chargers. Now, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one. I feel like the Panthers can honestly take this one. If the Chargers were to have picked up, Cam Newton or Andy Dalton or even Jameis Winston, any of these at least, more experienced quarterbacks, I feel like the Chargers would probably win this game. But I'm not real confident in Tyrod Taylor or Justin Herbert yet. Herbert, I feel like, will be good, long term in the future, but just right now, I'm not sure about their quarterback situation. They also only have Austin Eckler. They don't have Melvin Gordon anymore. I think people will be more focused in on Eckler now. They won't have to, try to take down this two-headed monster with him and Gordon. Obviously, Keenan Allen's still, a big threat. But I feel like people are, at least to some extent, really, really sleeping on the Panthers' offense. I feel like they honestly have the potential to be a top 10 offense this year. With a more solid quarterback, they have Christian McCaffrey, obviously, DJ Moore. Curtis Samuel was very underrated because, I want to say like 38% of his passes to him last year were uncatchable. So, turn that percentage into 15%. This guy probably gets another 200 or 300 yards and another touchdown or two. Those are quite a bit better stats. Plus they added Robbie Anderson. I feel like their offensive line is much better. And their defense is struggling. I'm not gonna act like they have this perfect defense, but they did a lot to fix their run defense. They're still looking to have a pretty scary pass rush. With Brian Burns and K'Wan Short and even Derek Brown. I feel like the Panthers are honestly only a couple positions away from being a contender again. And I feel like this is going to be a game where the Panthers can definitely win it. But, again, we'll have to see. But I think Panthers take this one. Week 4, we have the Chargers at the Bucks. The Bucks, honestly, their offense has too much firepower. I'm not expecting Tom Brady to turn over the ball as much as Jameis Winston. I'm not expecting him to be quite as explosive as Winston was. I'm not expecting like a 5,000 yard, 30 touchdown season. But I'm not expecting 30 turnovers either by him. I think he's going to contain this offense a lot better, and their defense is very underrated as well. I think the Bucks win this every time. Week 5, we have the Chargers at the Saints. I'm also giving this one to the Saints. Saints are quite possibly the most complete team in the NFL. At least top 3 complete team. Drew Brees is still playing at a high level. Obviously, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara. They got Emmanuel Sanders. I don't think the Chargers are taking this one. Week 6. Now this is one that I could see going either way. I wouldn't argue with someone if they chose the Chargers here, but I have the Jets because they did honestly do a lot to improve their offensive line. If it was still the offensive line they had from last year, I'd 100% give this to the Chargers. But their offensive line is much better. I think they'll be able to contain Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa a lot better. And their defense is very good. Still a very slept-on defense. I expect this to be a low-scoring game on both sides, but I think the Jets will take it. But I again can see, I could see it going either way. Week 7, we have the Chargers at the Dolphins. Dolphins are in a bit of a rebuild. They're saying that Tua's gonna start. It's not gonna be Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think they should at least start Fitzpatrick for at least the first few games. Give Tua at least a little bit more time to learn the playbook and everything. But I mean, although by week 7, if they started Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's gonna start throwing his interceptions again. And really, I just feel like the Chargers are the more complete team. Dolphins have good coaching. They're on the right track, but they're just not there yet. Week 8, I'm going to give this one to the Chargers as well. I said it in the last video, I think the Jags are the worst team in the NFL right now. They have a long way to go before they can be competitive again. Their defense is bad. Their offensive line is not good. Really, all they have is Minshew, Chark, and Leonard Fournette. But they also said they're not going to bring Leonard Fournette back for the 2021 season. They're not going to accept his 5th-year option. So, Jags are a long way off. Don't have good coaching either. Chargers are taking this one. Week 9, we have the Raiders at the Chargers. I'm giving this one to the Chargers. Raiders and Chargers games are always, back and forth, pretty competitive. I think they split here. I'm going to give the second game to the Raiders. I think that's pretty appropriate. Yeah, we can go ahead and move on from that one. Week 11, we have the Chargers at the Broncos. I love what Drew Lock is doing. I think the Broncos finally found their future quarterback. Cortland Sutton's a stud. I'm very impressed with the Jerry Jeudy pickup. And then, I want to say it was KJ Hamler they picked up as well, too. He was also a great pickup. They got Melvin Gordon. They have some firepower on this offense, and their defense is still no laughing matter either. I think the Broncos take this one. I don't think the Chargers will come back week 16 and, win. I think they've kind of accepted this point, they're not going to the playoffs, so they may as well, kind of not necessarily lose out, but, lose a few more games so they have a better draft pick. And that's why I think the Bills win this one. The Patriots, I think the Chargers are still kind of upset about that whole playoff loss to them in the 2018 playoffs. I think the Chargers will really try to win that game, and I think they do. I think the Patriots are vulnerable right now, not an incredible team right now. I think Chargers win it. Week 14, we have the Falcons at the Chargers. I've said before, Falcons are declining. Their defense still isn't good. Still not a huge fan of the coaching. Matt Ryan and Julio are getting older. Now, don't get me wrong, they're still playing at a pretty high level, especially Julio, but they're getting older. Expect at least a tiny bit of regression from them. But again, it's not me saying that they'll be bad by any means. Ultimately, I do think the Chargers will win this game, but it's not going to be, a blowout. And then week 17, I think the Chiefs will go ahead and, finish them off. So, the Chargers I have going 7-9. I think this is pretty reasonable. Let me know if if you think they'll do better than this or not as good as this. Let me know your predictions in the comment section below. Again, make sure to subscribe, leave a like on the video, and I will see you next time. Later.